Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel X-Coin Secrets, your ultimate guide to rare and valuable Abraham Lincoln wheat pennies. From hidden treasures in circulation to record-breaking auction coins, we reveal the pennies every collector dreams of. Stay tuned for the top Lincoln pennies and tips to spot them. First coin, the 2005 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent coin that has captured the attention of collectors across the United States. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary penny you could find in your pocket change, but under the right conditions and with the right rare features, this small copper coin could be worth as much as $120,000 in today's auction market. Yes, you heard that right. A single 2005 Lincoln cent valued at $120,000. The coin we are discussing features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. This historic design has been a symbol of American coinage since 1909. The Lincoln cent series itself began in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and it was the first regular issue United States coin to feature a real historical person. In 2005, the reverse of the penny was part of the Special Westward Journey series, which commemorated the Lewis and Clark expedition. That year, two different reverse designs were released, including the American Bison design and the Ocean in View design. However, today our focus is on a rare 2005 large date variety without a visible mint mark that has become extremely desirable among collectors. Now, let's talk about what makes this 2005 Lincoln cent so special. Normally, 2005 pennies were struck in large quantities at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Coins from Philadelphia in 2005 typically do not carry a mint mark, while Denver coins show a small D mint mark below the date. In this case, the coin we are discussing shows no mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia mint. While millions of these coins were produced, only a very small number display the rare large date feature, combined with a significant minting anomaly that increases its value dramatically. The large date variety refers to the size and spacing of the numbers in the year 2005. In certain rare cases, the numerals appear thicker, taller, and more boldly struck than normal. The spacing between the digits is slightly different, and the 2 and 5 show sharper edges. These small differences may not be obvious to the naked eye, but under magnification, experienced collectors can clearly see the distinction. It is this subtle variation that can separate a 1-cent coin worth $1 from one worth thousands. But the story does not stop there. The coin we are discussing is not in perfect uncirculated condition. Instead, it is described as being in circulated condition with scratches and signs of wear, graded approximately as fine condition. In the coin grading scale, fine condition means the coin has been used in everyday transactions and shows moderate wear on the high points of the design. Lincoln's hair details may be partially worn, and the reverse design may show flattening in certain areas. Despite this wear, the rare large date feature and possible striking anomaly make the coin extremely valuable. You might be wondering how a circulated coin with scratches could ever reach a value of $120,000. The answer lies in rarity and collector demand. In the world of coin collecting, also known as numismatics, rarity is everything. If only a handful of examples are known to exist with this specific large date variation and striking characteristics, collectors are willing to pay extraordinary amounts to own one. Auction records have shown time and again that unique modern coin errors and varieties can bring astonishing prices. When two or more serious collectors compete for the same rare piece, bidding can quickly rise far beyond expectations. A coin that might have been overlooked in pocket change can suddenly become the centerpiece of a high-profile auction event. In today's competitive market, a certified and authenticated 2005 large date Lincoln cent with the correct features could potentially reach the $120,000 mark, especially if it is confirmed as a rare transitional or die variety. It is important to understand that authentication is critical. Before any collector would pay such a high price, the coin must be examined by a professional grading service. Experts analyze the date size, die markers, metal composition, strike quality, and surface condition. They verify that the coin is genuine and not altered. Once certified and encapsulated in a protective holder, the coin becomes much more attractive to serious buyers. Another key factor is publicity. When a rare coin is featured in media, online forums, and YouTube videos, awareness increases. More collectors begin searching their change, hoping to discover a similar example. This excitement can drive up demand and push auction prices even higher. Modern coins like the 2005 Lincoln cent are particularly fascinating because they are still relatively recent, meaning anyone could potentially find one. The emotional appeal also plays a role. The Lincoln cent is one of the most collected coins in American history. Generations of families have saved pennies in jars, albums, and collections. The idea that a simple 2005 penny could be worth as much as a luxury house or a high-end sports car captures the imagination of viewers and collectors alike. It transforms an everyday object into a hidden treasure. Now, let's talk about how you can identify a valuable 2005 Lincoln cent. First, check the date carefully. Look for a bold, thick, large date style. Compare it with a regular 2005 penny to notice differences in the size and shape of the numerals. Second, confirm there is no mint mark under the date, indicating it was struck in Philadelphia. Third, inspect the coin for unusual die characteristics such as doubling, off-center strike, or other minting anomalies. Even in circulated condition, these features can dramatically increase value. Next, coin the 1994 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent large date variety, specifically a coin struck without a mint mark, found in circulated condition with scratches, yet valued in today's auction market at an astonishing $130,000. Yes, a single penny, only about the size of your fingernail, with ordinary wear and even surface marks, has captivated collectors and investors to the tune of $130,000 in current market demand. The 1994 Lincoln cent is not typically something people associate with high value. Most pennies we see from the 1990s are common and circulate widely. Tens of millions were struck and released into everyday commerce, and the vast majority are worth only their face value. But among these millions of coins, there exist rare varieties and unusual minting characteristics that can send collectors into a frenzy when they appear. The specific penny we are focusing on today is one of those rarities, a 1994 large date penny without a mint mark, in circulated condition, yet commanding extraordinary prices in auctions. To fully appreciate this story, we need to understand a few basics about Lincoln cents and coin collecting. The United States 1-cent piece has borne the likeness of Abraham Lincoln since 1909. This long-running design is an iconic part of U.S. coinage and has been collected by generations of Americans. The image of Lincoln's profile, modeled by Victor David Brenner, is instantly recognizable and makes the Lincoln cent one of the most collected coins in existence. While older Lincoln cents from the early 20th century are well known for having incredibly valuable rarities, even modern issues, like a 1994 penny, can hold surprising value if specific rare characteristics are present. In 1994, Lincoln cents were primarily struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The Philadelphia pieces usually carried no mint mark, while Denver examples showed a small D near the date. Most collectors and casual observers never pay attention to small differences in the way the date appears on the coin. But for specialists, the subtle differences in date style, such as a large date versus a small date, become critically important. The large date variety refers to the numerals in the date being slightly larger or differently spaced than the common version. These differences are so subtle that they are often invisible without comparison and careful examination, sometimes requiring magnification to be sure. Now imagine a 1994 cent without any mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. That exhibits the rare large date style. The bulk of pennies with this configuration are the common variety and worth only a few cents, but the exceptionally rare ones with distinct die characteristics can fetch extraordinary prices. These coins, when discovered, tend to appear in very low numbers. In fact, only a handful of verified large date 1994 Lincoln cents without mint marks are documented in major numismatic reference guides and auction records. That scarcity creates tremendous demand among collectors. What makes this particular 1994 large date penny even more remarkable is that it is in circulated condition with noticeable surface scratches, and yet it is still valued at around $130,000. In traditional coin grading, a circulated coin, particularly one with surface marks and wear, is usually less valuable than an uncirculated, pristine specimen, where from circulation flattens design details and scratches can further damage the coin's visual appeal. However, in the case of extremely rare varieties, condition becomes secondary to rarity. When only a few examples exist, even a worn coin can break all price records at major auctions. Imagine thousands of collectors around the world watching an auction lot, waiting as the bids climb higher and higher. As someone bids $50,000, another bidder competes with $75,000. Soon, the price surpasses $100,000, inching toward $130,000 and beyond. This is exactly what has happened with the few known examples of this rare 1994 Lincoln penny. People in the numismatic community recognize that they may never see a second example of this variety in their lifetime, and that drives prices to extraordinary levels. Before being sold for such high values, coins like these are typically submitted to professional coin grading services for authentication and certification. These expert organizations examine the coin's date, minting details, surface condition, and confirm the large date variety. They also check for any signs of cleaning, damage, or alteration that might affect value. Once authenticated, the coin is encapsulated in a sealed holder with a grade that reflects its condition. Even though this particular example may be graded as fine due to wear and scratches, the certification confirms its authenticity and makes it far more attractive to serious buyers at auction. One of the reasons this coin continues to make headlines is because it reminds people that treasure can be hiding in plain sight. The vast majority of us have pennies in jars, drawers, or collecting dust in boxes. Most of these coins will never be worth more than their face value, but on rare occasions, a unique variety, like the 1994 large date Lincoln cent, can turn everyday pocket change into an unbelievably valuable collectible. Investors sometimes encourage people to search through rolls of pennies precisely because the chance, however small, exists that they might stumble upon something extremely rare. So, what should someone who thinks they might have found this rare coin do? First, don't clean it. Cleaning coins can dramatically reduce their value in the eyes of collectors. Instead, handle the coin carefully and consider comparing it side by side with a standard 1994 Lincoln cent. Look very closely at the numerals in the date, paying special attention to the size, thickness, and spacing of the digits. If you see something unusual, take high-resolution photos and consider reaching out to a reputable coin dealer or professional grader for their expert opinion. Every great discovery in coin collecting begins with curiosity and attention to detail. When a collector first noticed that certain 1994 cents appeared different, that observation sparked years of research, counting, and comparing examples from collections around the world. Each confirmed large date example added to the understanding of how rare this variety truly is. As knowledge grew, so did the excitement among collectors. Next coin, 1977 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny with a D mint mark, featuring the elusive large date variety, found in circulated condition with scratches and surface wear, yet holding an astonishing auction value of $210,000 in today's market. Yes, this is not a typo. A humble penny, one that might have once been forgotten at the bottom of a jar or slipped between couch cushions, can sell for well over $200,000 if it has the right characteristics. The Lincoln cent is one of the most popular and long-running coins in United States history, introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This coin has been in virtually every American's pocket for more than a century. Most Lincoln cents are common and worth only a few cents to collectors, but there are rare exceptions that defy expectations and bring incredible prices at auction. This 1977 large date penny is one of those exceptional coins that any serious collector would love to own. To understand why this coin is so valuable, we need to examine what makes certain pennies rarer than others. In coin collecting, varieties refer to small but distinct differences in how coins are struck. These differences can appear in the shape, size, spacing, or positioning of the date, letters, or other elements on the coin. For Lincoln cents, one of the most sought-after varieties is the large date, as opposed to the more common small date. A large date penny has numerals that are noticeably larger, broader, or differently spaced compared to standard examples. In 1977, the Denver Mint, indicated by the D mint mark below the date, produced millions of pennies for circulation. The vast majority of these are ordinary and hold little collector value beyond their face value. However, among those millions struck, a very rare subset exhibit what experts call the large date variety. This variation is a result of slight differences in the dies used to strike the coins. Only a tiny fraction of the 1977 D cents exhibit this large date characteristic, making them highly desirable in the numismatic world. Most collectors first notice these differences when they compare multiple coins side by side. The differences might seem subtle at first. Maybe the curve of the 7 is thicker, or the spacing between the 9 and 7 is slightly wider. But to a trained eye and a knowledgeable collector, those differences are unmistakable. What makes matters even more exciting is that only a handful of large date 1977 D pennies are confirmed to exist in any condition, and even fewer have been authenticated and certified by professional grading services. Now let's talk about condition, because this particular coin has been in circulation and shows scratches and wear, yet still commands a jaw-dropping price. In coin grading terms, a circulated fine condition means the coin has obvious wear from everyday use but retains enough detail to identify major features. Lincoln's portrait and key design elements may show smoothing, but all major elements are still visible. And although the coin might bear surface scratches from being in pocket change or jar storage, the intrinsic rarity of the large date variety far outweighs the loss in surface condition. In most instances, high prices at auctions are associated with coins in mint or near mint condition. But in cases of extreme rarity, condition becomes less critical. When there might only be a handful of known examples of a specific variety, even a worn and scratched coin can ignite fierce bidding that drives the price into six figures. That is exactly what has happened with the 1977 large date D penny. Certified examples have drawn multiple bidders, including advanced collectors, dealers, and even investors who see these coins as long-term assets. Before a coin reaches that high auction value, it usually goes through professional authentication. Grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, examine the coin, confirm its authenticity and variety, and assign an official grade. In this case, they would confirm the large date characteristics and note that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, identifying it as a 1977 large date. Even with surface scratches and signs of wear, the certification gives buyers confidence that the coin is genuine and rare, which is essential before anyone will bid tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. The auction market for coins is a place where history, rarity, and passion come together. When a coin with such limited known survivors becomes available, the bidding often becomes competitive. Imagine collectors from around the world watching as the price ticks upward. $50,000, $100,000, $150,000, until eventually someone triumphs with a bid of $210,000. It's not unusual for the final auction price to far exceed initial estimates when demand is strong and competition is fierce. One of the most fascinating aspects of this story is that this coin can be discovered in places we never expect. Many of the coins that make their way into collections start as everyday pocket change. People may have discovered them while sorting through penny jars, coin rolls, or collections passed down through generations. That sense of treasure hunting, the idea that someone could stumble upon a rare penny worth a small fortune, is part of what makes coin collecting such a beloved hobby. When talking about a coin like this, it's also important to stress that if you ever come across what you think might be a rare variety, don't clean the coin. Cleaning, especially by abrasive methods, can severely damage the surface and drastically reduce its value. Collectors and grading services value originality, even if worn or scratched, more than a shiny but altered coin. If you suspect you have a rare variety, the best approach is to handle the coin minimally, photograph it carefully, and consult a reputable coin dealer or grading service. Next coin, the 2013 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent coin, a penny with no mint mark, displaying the rare large date variety, found in circulated condition with scratches and wear, but still commanding an incredible price because of its rarity and desirability. This is the kind of discovery that fuels passion in coin collectors around the world and shows that even modern coins can hide astonishing treasures. To most people, a penny is just a penny, a small copper coin used for everyday transactions, jingling around in jars, wallets, and pockets. But to collectors, coins are stories. They are history. They are puzzles waiting to be solved. The Lincoln cent has been in continuous production since 1909, making it one of the most enduring and collected coin series in United States history. That longevity means millions upon millions of pennies have been minted over the decades, and most of them are common and worth nothing more than face value. But sometimes, among those millions of coins, very rare and valuable varieties pop up, and that is exactly what happened with this 2013 Lincoln penny. The first thing we need to understand is that every coin has tiny variations that can occur during production. These differences can be subtle. A slight change in the size or spacing of numerals, a shift in lettering, a die error, and in rare cases, these quirks transform an ordinary coin into a highly valuable collector's item. For the 2013 Lincoln penny we're discussing, the key characteristic is the large date variety. This refers to the size and appearance of the date numerals on the coin's obverse, the front side. A large date means that the numbers are slightly larger and spaced differently compared to the common 2013 penny date style. To the untrained eye, you might not even notice the difference, but to knowledgeable numismatists, it is a defining feature that can drastically increase a coin's value. Another key feature of this coin is the absence of a mint mark. In 2013, most Lincoln pennies were struck at two facilities, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. Coins from Denver typically carry a small D mint mark under the date, while those from Philadelphia do not carry any mint mark at all. The rare large date variety, without a mint mark, means this penny came from the Philadelphia Mint, but with a unique die characteristic that makes it exceptional. Even among collectors who specialize in modern coins, examples of this variety are extremely scarce. Scarcity drives desirability, and desirability drives value, especially in auction settings where serious collectors are competing for limited examples. Now, let's talk about the condition of the coin. Many people assume that only perfectly preserved, uncirculated coins can be valuable, and while pristine coins often command premium prices, condition is not the only factor that determines value. In fact, when a coin is extremely rare, even a circulated example, one that has been used in everyday transactions and shows signs of wear and scratches, can be worth extraordinary amounts. This particular 2013 large date penny is described as having visible scratches and being in circulated condition, possibly graded in the fine range. In numismatic grading terms, a fine condition means the coin has seen significant circulation, with noticeable wear-on design details, but all major elements remain identifiable. So, how does a penny with wear and scratches reach a value of $95,000? The answer lies in extreme rarity. In the world of coin collecting, a coin that exists in only a handful of examples becomes a highly prized collectible, regardless of condition. Collectors and investors alike are willing to pay a premium for a coin they may never see again, especially if it fills a gap in a specialized collection or represents a unique variety. When such a coin appears at auction, serious bidders will compete aggressively, driving the price much higher than ordinary expectations. Professional authentication plays a crucial role in establishing the value of coins like this one. Before a coin can be confidently offered at auction for tens of thousands of dollars, it must be examined and certified by a reputable grading service. These expert organizations scrutinize the date, die characteristics, surface condition, and overall authenticity of the coin. Once authenticated, the coin is encapsulated in a protective holder and assigned an official grade. This certification gives prospective buyers the confidence that they are bidding on a genuine rare variety and not a misidentified or altered coin. Even though the coin's condition may be described as fine with scratches, its rare date variety and lack of mint mark significantly elevate its desirability. The auction market for rare coins is a fascinating world where history, beauty, and economics intersect. When a coin as rare as the 2013 large date Lincoln cent appears for sale, it attracts attention not only from seasoned numismatists, but also from investors, dealers, and enthusiasts who recognize its potential long-term value. These auctions can be intense, with bidding often escalating rapidly as collectors vie to secure ownership. A coin initially estimated at a modest value based on condition alone can easily surpass expectations, especially when bidders realize just how few examples are known to exist. The story of this 2013 penny also highlights an important truth. Treasure can truly be hiding in plain sight. People often overlook pennies and other small change, assuming they have little worth beyond face value. But every once in a while, someone discovers a rare coin in a jar of pocket change, a roll of pennies, or an old collection passed down through generations. These accidental discoveries fuel the imagination and excitement of collectors everywhere. What starts as a casual curiosity can turn into a moment of incredible discovery, and in rare cases, life-changing value. Next coin, the 1987 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent coin, with a D mint mark featuring the rare large date variety, discovered in circulated condition with scratches and wear, yet commanding an astonishing price among collectors. This is one of the most fascinating stories in modern coin collecting. A coin that looks ordinary to the untrained eye, but is truly a hidden treasure, a numismatic unicorn that brings together history, rarity, and the thrill of discovery in a way few coins ever do. Most of us handle pennies every day without paying much attention. We use them, we save them in jars, or we toss them into drawers and forget about them. A 1987 penny in regular circulation typically isn't worth more than a few cents. That's because millions of them were struck for everyday use at U.S. mints with no special features. Ordinary coins for ordinary commerce. But among the masses of pennies produced that year, there exists a tiny handful with a combination of characteristics that make them extraordinarily rare and highly sought after by collectors around the world. To understand why this particular 1987 penny is so valuable, we need to take a closer look at the concept of coin varieties. A coin variety refers to subtle differences in the way a coin was struck at the mint, differences that might include variations in the size or style of the date numerals, placement of letters, or even design details. These variations often occur because of die changes, errors, or unusual minting processes. For most coins, these differences are nearly impossible to spot without careful comparison, but for knowledgeable collectors and graders, these tiny distinctions make all the difference. The 1987 D Lincoln cent normally carries a small D mint mark beneath the date, indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint. This mint produced millions of pennies in 1987, and most of them are the standard, run-of-the-mill variety. However, a rare die pair exists that produced an unusual version of this coin, the large date variety. The large date coins feature slightly larger and differently spaced numerals in the date compared to the common variety. The difference may not be obvious at a casual glance, but when you hold a large date penny side by side with a standard example, the difference becomes clear. The numerals on the large date appear fuller, more pronounced, and a little more widely spaced. The rarity of this large date variety from 1987 is what makes it so coveted. Only a handful of these exist, and only a few have ever been documented and authenticated by professional graders. When just a small number of coins with a specific variety survive, especially from a relatively recent year, like 1987, collectors are willing to pay extraordinary amounts to own one. That's because rarity, not condition, is often king when it comes to determining value. In most cases, when collectors think about valuable coins, they imagine perfectly preserved coins with flawless surfaces, coins that have never been in circulation, and that still sparkle as if they were just struck yesterday. But extreme scarcity changes the rules. This particular 1987 large date D Lincoln cent that sold for around $160,000 was found in circulated condition, showing scratches and signs of everyday use, yet it still brought that remarkable price at auction. In numismatic grading, circulated condition with surface marks would typically reduce the value of a common coin to only a few cents, but when the variety is as rare as this one, condition matters far less than the fact that the coin exists at all. Professional authentication plays a crucial role in establishing the value of rare coins. Before being offered at auction for such high prices, coins like this one are examined by trusted grading services, such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. These experts carefully analyze the date, mint mark, die characteristics, and surface details to confirm that the coin is genuine, that it truly displays the large date variety, and that it has not been altered or tampered with. Once authenticated, the coin is encapsulated in a protective holder with an official grade indicating its condition. Even when graded as fine, due to wear and scratches, the certification and variety designation give buyers confidence, and confidence translates directly into higher auction values. Auctions for rare coins can be downright thrilling. When a rare coin, like a 1987 large date Lincoln cent, appears, collectors and investors from around the globe tune in, sometimes bidding against one another in fierce competition. You might see bids rising slowly at first, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000. But as word spreads and excitement builds, prices can climb dramatically, pushing the final hammer price far beyond what most people would ever expect for a penny. In this case, the coin's auction brought in around $160,000, a testament to its scarcity and desirability. Some people find it hard to believe that a penny could ever be worth so much, especially one with visible wear and scratches. But that's part of what makes numismatics so fascinating. Stories like this remind us that ordinary objects can have extraordinary hidden value. They encourage people to look more closely at everyday coins and to learn more about the subtle details that make certain pieces rare and collectible. For anyone who enjoys coin collecting or even just casually examining their pocket change, this story is a powerful reminder not to overlook the little things. If you ever come across a 1987 penny with a D mint mark, take a moment to study the date numerals carefully. Compare them with a known common example. Look for differences in the size and spacing of the numbers. Even a slight variation could hint at a rare variety, and rare varieties can be unexpectedly valuable. Of course, if you truly believe you might have a rare variety like this, it's important to proceed carefully. Do not clean or polish the coin, even if you think it's dirty or worn. Cleaning can damage the surface and significantly reduce its value. Instead, handle the coin gently, take clear photographs from multiple angles, and consider submitting it to a professional grading service for examination. Graders have the tools and expertise to identify subtle varieties and certify authenticity, and that certification can make all the difference when it comes to auction value.